Hey guys, so as of recording this, we have a week to go until the Walking Dead The Ones Who Live releases. So I thought to myself, well, what can I do for this amazing programme that's going to be out in a week? So I thought in this episode or issue, or well, technically it's not an episode or an issue, but in this video I would go over everything we know, all of my theories, all the rumours, episode titles, plot synopsis off of Rotten Tomatoes. Don't worry, there's nothing really spoilery in there, and things like that. So to start off with, we do obviously have the first 5 episode titles, which are Years Gone By, first 3, which is a reference to Days Gone By being the first book and the first episode, except in this case there are years gone by, not days. So then we have episodes 4, which is titled What We, and episode 5, Become. So that is also the name of book 10, which was a pretty brutal book in the series. We have events like the first proper, I think it was actually the first proper big horde in the comics. We also have the whole Rick biting some guy's throat out. So pretty violent stuff. With regards to where it sits in the TV show, we're looking at the end of season 4. So just for a comparison with regards to what to expect there, it's obviously a callback to that whole being on the road for a while before we get to Terminus, that sort of arc. So late season 4. So with regards to that, we've also got the plot synopsis for episode 1, which is obviously titled Years. And episode 1, Rick tries to find his place in a new world. Now, something to note here, no mention of Michonne. In every other plot synopsis, there is a mention of Michonne. So I think this episode will focus solely on Rick and where he's been for the last 8 years. Now, obviously, Rick has been away. He's been, with General Beale and CRM. He's probably lost his hand in this time, although I can't guarantee that it's in this time, because as we saw in the end of The Walking Dead with season 11 episode 24, Rest in Peace, he still has his hand, but that could easily be a flashback to show where he was and how he tried to get back to his family, but he didn't, because he had his boots. Now, his boots, I think, are going to play a very key role in timeline, because he had his boots and he threw them onto the boat, and then the helicopter came, and then obviously we know that after a while that boat made its way downstream, like very downstream, and Michonne ended up finding it just off the coast of Oceanside when she went with Virgil. Yeah. So she found them after 7 years since he disappeared. So we know that scene happens sometime in between the 7 years. We can also deduce that from the trailers there's a lot of this scene with Michonne in her armour, which was shown at the end of at the season finale for season 11. So you could see her in the armour, and you could also see her riding off into the horde, and I think that is where we'll probably pick up with regards to Michonne's story. We'll probably pick up right where it left off from The Walking Dead. Maybe a little bit before, but not too much before. Because that's been focused quite a lot in the trailers. So, the big question is, where has Rick been for all these years? And the true answer is we don't know. We know he's been with the CRM, but besides that, has been helping them, trying to escape. We know he did escape, but whether he has then made multiple attempts and then he's lost his hand due to that, or whether he's lost his hand in combat or a zombie bite, we don't know. And then, so that's episode 1. Then we've got episode 2 gone, episode 3 by, episode 4 what we, and episode 5 become. All have the same plot synopsis, which says, if I just load it up here, in another world built on a war against the dead, Rick Grimes and Michonne attempted to find each other and who they were. Now, it says who they were and not who they are, implying that there could be a lot of flashbacks and a lot of past tense stuff catching us up to the present. So that's quite an interesting, quite an exciting thing. With regards to the present, I think that most of this series will be a catch-up. And I think that the last episode, episode 6, which we haven't got a title for yet, which is very exciting. We don't know what the title is, but we do have a plot synopsis, which isn't very spoily, so I will read it to you. Oh, it's not loading. Anyway, so I think episode 6 will be the episode where Rick and Michonne reunite. I think if they did it before that you'd have too much time, after them trying to fight the CRM, and I don't think that just Rick and Michonne can stop the CRM. I think they're going to need help from all the spin-offs, the characters from The Walking Dead World Beyond, which I keep meaning to watch, and I do want to watch it before The Ones Who Live, but it's not great. But we'll get there. So if any of them live, hopefully we'll see them again. Well, not hopefully, but there you go. Hopefully we'll see Morgan again, because we love a bit of Morgan. And hopefully him and I think it's Madison, the mum from Fear the Walking Dead, will cross over, along with maybe Dwight and Sherry. And then we've got the characters from, what's the other spin-offs? Maggie and Negan with Dead City. Hopefully they'll come back in, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Daryl will be back from France. Now, one thing that I have heard a lot of with this particular TV show is the criticism that Scott Gimple has directed it, and he's been in charge of it. Now, personally, I don't hold it against him for what he did to The Walking Dead. I think he did some of the best stories with season 3 and 4 with the prison, and even season 5, but he did fumble a little bit with the Saviour War and season 7 and 8. So, you can't have it all. Yes, he did kill Carl, and if he kills Rick, I will cry. A lot. Like, a lot. But I don't hold that against him. So, going back to my original point, because it's loaded now, season 1, episode 6 of The Ones Who Live. No episode title, which is interesting. We'll have to wait and see for that one. But the plot synopsis on Rotten Tomatoes says a love story of two people kept apart by an unstoppable power trying to find each other. Now, I think this is where we're really going to see the full might of the CRM, and we're going to see that actually our heroes can't win, at least not yet. And I also think this is where we will get, towards the end of the episode, we will get the Rick and Michonne reunion. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong. I hope so, because I think the first half of the season should be about what's happened, and I think the second half should be them reuniting. And I think we need, well, maybe not we, but I need that. I want to see them reunite, and I want to see them interact and fight the CRM together. I don't think it'll happen, but that's what I want. And that's what me personally, in my heart of hearts, wants. Although saying that, after watching the trailers, the acting and the pure passion in both Andrew Lincoln and Denai are just brilliant. And I really hope that Jadis, I hope she has more of a role in the CRM. I hope she's quite high up. I think she is, due to her involvements in World Beyond, but I couldn't guarantee it. And I think Terry O'Quinn, who was in Lost as General Beale, is going to be legendary. And I hope that he is as menacing a villain as Negan. I really hope that I know we only have 6 episodes with him, but I really hope they build him up as this Negan and Governor level villain. And I hope that he doesn't die, because I think if Scott Gimple's plan of a crossover event does happen, I think he should be the one to lead it, because he is the one that has basically kickstarted all of this. He's the one, from what I can tell, that is keeping Rick away from his family, that's stopping him from being so with his family and happy forever after. Another thing I want to note about the CRM just quickly is, I don't know whether he is, because I'm only on like season 2 of Fear, but I really hope that if Strand is alive, that he is in the CRM, because I think him just adding that little bit of extra spiciness would be great in this show. So that's pretty much my plot synopsis. Besides that, we're going to get onto the more sort of not spoilery stuff, but obviously if you don't want any theories, then click away now. With regards to the ones who live, it's not confirmed, but a lot of people, including myself, have watched the trailer at excruciatingly slow speeds, and it is basically confirmed that Rick loses his hand. I have in one of my other videos, I think it's the Walking Dead overview. I'll probably put a title card up here somewhere for which video it is, and I'll put the time down in the description. But I'm pretty sure I have done a breakdown to show that Rick actually does lose his hand. So that's quite an interesting prospect, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see, because in the comics he loses his hand in issue 27 to the Governor. So to see something that was never fully realised, it was always hinted at, with him always having his hand bandaged up, and even with Carl more explicitly, you know, with Rick and Negan having his arm threatened to be cut off. It's always been hinted at, but it's never actually been realised, and I think now it will be. Now, I did see a video the other day saying that this guy thinks that he's going to lose it when he's in the forest with the red lights and he's chained up by the CRM. I don't think that's the case. I like where this guy, I can't remember what it was, but I liked where the video was going, how he's going to lose his arm and then he's going to wake up and he's going to be all frustrated and be like, my arm, or did he cut it off himself? I can't quite remember. Either way, I don't think that's the case. I think that General Beale himself will cut it off to show his power and what he can do, because we don't have much time with this guy. We need to make him threatening. Not only that, right, but if he cuts it off himself, yes, it's got that emotional weight, but if someone else takes that from him after they've already taken his family, his friends, his life, that would hit so much harder. So other than that, we don't know much about this program. We know that Jadis will probably be an antagonist. My big question, and something I'm hoping that will be answered soon, is a couple of things. Will there be variant walkers? And second of all, what is the green gas that Michonne is seen running from? And where did she get her armour from? So, a lot of questions. A week to go as of recording this, and fingers crossed it's as good as we all hope. So, as always, don't forget to leave me all your thoughts in the comments. I do try and respond to as many of them as possible. If you have any questions, let me know down there as well. Any suggestions for future videos? I am looking at branching out, not just doing Walking Dead stuff. If you're interested in other comic stuff like The Boys is a good one, or like big comic events in history like Flashpoint, Marvel Zombies, I will be covering that at some point. Or just any questions really, drop them down below and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. And I will catch you guys in the next one.